In the quiet community of Abule, one house stood apart from the rest. Number 47. Its walls were tired, the paint was faded, and the gate creaked with the weight of old secrets. For as long as anyone could remember, no one had managed to live there for long. A strange pattern had emerged. Every new tenant who moved in would vanish without a trace exactly 7 days after their arrival. No note, no clues, just an eerie silence that left the whole neighborhood whispering. Some swore the place was haunted by restless spirits. Others claimed that bizarre, unexplainable things happened there in the dead of night, but no one had any real answers. That is, until Eniola arrived. She was a sharp, ambitious young journalist from the bustling city of Lagos, known for her relentless pursuit of a good story. She'd covered everything from high-stakes politics to celebrity scandals. But the mystery of number 47 felt different, it called to her. Her editor, a man who'd seen it all, had warned her, "Abeg, this one fit past journalism-o." But Eniola just smiled, that determined glint in her eyes. "That's exactly why I'm going," she replied. When she finally set foot on Abul Street, the very air seemed to press down on her. Neighbors peeked from behind their curtains, their gazes following her as she rolled her small suitcase into the infamous compound. The caretaker, a short man with a perpetually nervous smile, quickly handed her the key. "Room 3, upstairs," he mumbled, avoiding her eyes. "No problem with light or water. Just don't stay outside too late." Inside, the room was surprisingly simple and neat. Eniola wasted no time. She set up her camera and her audio recorder, ready to document every single moment, every strange noise, every flicker of a light. The first night was uneventful, filled only with the familiar sounds of the neighborhood. A distant barking dog, the low hum of generators. But then, around 2 a.m., she heard it. Footsteps in the corridor. They were slow, dragging, as if someone was walking with a heavy burden. She quickly opened her door, but the hallway was completely empty. All that remained was a faint, musty smell of damp air. The next morning, she sought out the caretaker. "Is anyone else living upstairs?" she asked casually. He shook his head so fast it was almost comical. "No, madam. You're the only one there," he insisted. The denial only fueled her curiosity. That night, she forced herself to stay awake, waiting. And just like before, the footsteps returned. This time, they were accompanied by soft, indistinct whispering, like far-off prayers. Her heart began to pound against her ribs. She reached for her camera, pointing it towards the door. The moment she hit record, the sound stopped. Complete silence. By the 4th day, things started to get even stranger. Eniola began having incredibly vivid dreams. In them, she saw faces of people she didn't know, all calling her name, pleading for help. One face, however, stood out, a young woman wearing a traditional red wrapper. In the dream, the woman leaned in close and whispered, "Tell our story." That was it. Eniola knew this was more than just a haunted house story. There was something deeper, a truth that needed to be uncovered. The next morning, driven by a new sense of purpose, she decided to search the compound. Behind the main house, near a crumbling old well almost hidden by overgrown weeds, her eyes caught something. Small personal items lay scattered on the ground. An old, worn-out shoe, a delicate bracelet, and a photograph, half buried in dust. They looked like things someone would leave behind in a great hurry, forgotten in a moment of panic. She gathered them and went to find the caretaker. When she showed him what she'd found, the man's nervous smile vanished completely. His face turned pale, and his eyes widened with what looked like genuine fear. "Madam, please," he begged, his voice trembling. "Don't go near that place again. It's not safe." But it was too late. Eniola was already too deep in the mystery to turn back now. She knew she was close to an answer. That night, she prepared for a long vigil. She left her camera running, pointed at the door, determined to capture whatever was happening in that house. The hours ticked by slowly. Then, around 3 a.m., the single light bulb in her room flickered and died. Her door, which she had locked, creaked open on its own. A bone-chilling cold swept through the room, and a soft, clear voice whispered right beside her, "They just want peace." She turned her head slowly, her own voice barely a whisper. "Who are you?" There was no answer. Instead, a sudden gust of wind blew the curtains violently aside, even though the window was closed. In the chaos, her camera stand toppled over. It crashed to the floor, and the screen went dark. The next morning, the 7th day, the neighbors noticed her door was wide open, but the room was empty, and Neola was gone. Her laptop was still on, her meticulously organized notes scattered across the desk. Her camera was on the floor, its battery dead, but its memory card intact. When the footage was recovered, the last few seconds sent a shiver down everyone's spine. It showed Eniola staring directly into the lens, her expression not of fear, but of understanding. She spoke her final recorded words. "The house is not cursed. It's a message." That short, cryptic clip went viral. The internet exploded with theories. Some said she had uncovered a dark, hidden secret of the community and was silenced. Others believed she had crossed over into another realm, becoming part of the house's mystery forever. A few weeks later, a new tenant, a young man who scoffed at the local legends, decided to move into number 47. He ignored all the warnings. True to the pattern, on the morning of the 7th day, he was seen packing his bags, his face pale and trembling. He left without saying a single word to anyone. Now, the locals say that if you happen to pass by Abel Street late at night, and you listen very, very carefully, you might hear a faint voice drifting from the empty house. A voice that sounds a lot like Eniola's, saying, "Record rolling." And since that day, nobody has ever dared to stay in number 47 again. The house remains silent, holding onto its secrets, waiting for the next person brave enough to listen. Thanks for joining me on this chilling journey. What do you think happened to Eniola? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you love mysteries like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Stay curious and stay safe.